Hello, everyone. This is Misty Seigan and George Bellas coming at you from Bellas of Wachowski. We'd like to talk to you today about starting a business. Once you've made that initial determination, there are many questions I'm sure that you have, and we hope to answer at least some of those today.
Starting a new business has taken a new direction, especially in the last 25 years with the advent of technology, but most recently with what's happened with the pandemic. The entire paradigm of how businesses start, how they operate is in flux. Nothing is for certain anymore. We have to gauge the entire environment, especially how technology has changed how we do business and what business actually is. But there are still some techniques that are good, that have been good for a long time, and some ideas that every new business should consider. So we're going to talk about 10 things to consider when starting a business. Misty?
The number one question is, what is the nature of the business? What is your business going to be? Is this something that you've looked into, and do you have the skills that you need to start this business?
One of the things you have to think about is who's going to be your competition? What's out there already? So you better do something about analyzing your competition, and you better start formulating a plan to compete with those people in the marketplace. A good place to start is the internet. Do a Google search, see what else is out there, see how you're going to fit into that space.
How much initial capital will be required for the new business? This is your startup money. How much money are you going to need? Have you considered all the expenses of starting your new business? This would include things as, are you going to need to rent or lease a space? What about the equipment you're going to need, the staff you're going to need for your new business, decorating, employee payroll, taxes? There's all sorts of things that you may have not considered. In this category, this essentially would be your business plan.
And then you have to think about what your sources of capital are going to be. How are you going to raise money? How can you, what are your reasonable expectations of getting capital for your business? And then how are you going to get that capital into that business? Is it going to be a loan from somebody or a bank? Is it going to be out of your own pocket? And then you have to think about how that money is transferred into the business, because ultimately you're going to have to try to protect that investment for yourself or other people.
If you have more than one principal, have you considered the forms of ownership in a partnership agreement? Is this going to be just your business, so you don't have to answer to anyone else? Or are you going to have a partner? Which one of you is going to run the day-to-day operations? Who's going to be responsible for the financial aspect of the business? Have you considered a partnership or a shareholders agreement to help decide some of these issues?
All that is tied into what form, legal form, your business should adopt. It could be a corporation. It could be a simple partnership. It could be a limited liability company. It could be anything. It depends on what you're doing, who your partners are. But generally right now, the generally accepted form of starting a new business right now is a limited liability company, because it affords you the advantages, tax advantages of being taxed as a simple partnership or a sole proprietorship, and it protects you from personal liability.
Have you given due consideration to the selection of the business name that you want to use? It may in fact be that you're not able to use the name that you would like to. Again, one of the places to start with this is, if you have a name in mind, have you Googled it? Is it already taken, or do you have a name that you want to protect in the future with a trademark?
If I could add to that, Misty, people should consider whether they have a trade name or a trademark that they want to look into and preserve. That may require getting a full trademark search or trade name search, because you don't want to start a new business and then later find out that that name has been taken by somebody else and you're faced with a trademark suit.
No, you don't want that.
You certainly don't. Are there any legal impediments to you starting your business? Or, for example, Are you currently working for a company that has a restrictive covenant that prevents you from engaging in a competing business? Or the people that you want to hire, do they have any covenants from the current employer? Are there any confidentiality agreements that you're subject to, or the people that you're going to hire? Are there any fiduciary obligations that you have to consider, like trust or anything else? These are all considerations that you have to consider.
And by now your head is probably swimming, but one other question is, are there any applicable license or permit requirements? This depends on the type of business that you're hoping to start. And this may not be something that you considered, but that we could help you with.
And the last thing is, and from our perspective, this is the most important thing, and this is what we've done, or what I've done over the last 45 years in building a practice. You have to have a solid relationship with a trusted business advisor. That could be an accountant. It could be somebody who in your family who really understands business, or it could be a lawyer. In our case, it's a lawyer. What we've done is, once we've helped you start a business and we understand what your business is, we are in a really good position to answer questions as they develop for you. And we have plans to help you work along those lines. So we encourage you to give all these considerations when you're starting a new business, and talk to people who are experienced in that area. If you have any questions, visit our website or call us. Any other questions? Misty, anything to add?
Not today.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.